Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we shall see question from June 2017 consisting of 4.75 marks. The question is, the solutions for lambda is equal to -1 and lambda is equal to 3 of the integral equation. This is the given integral equation and the interval is from 0 to 1, that is x lies between 0 to 1, where the kernel is defined to be like this. Respectively. So they are saying the solution corresponding to lambda is equal to 1 is which among these four, the first ones, and for lambda is equal to 3 is which among these last fours, right? So we need to check for this. So let us get started. The given integral equation could be written as, that is, we can just split up this integral from 0 to 1 to 0 to x and then x to 1 because the kernel is given as such. Here in the first case, in this integral is varying from 0 to x. That means this t is less than equal to x because the variable here is t, right? And here t is greater than equal to x, right? So we'll take the kernel values for these. So t less than equal to x means what? T less than equal to x means cos hyperbolic t sine hyperbolic x, and in the next we'll write this one, right? So let's see. So we have 1 plus lambda 0 to x cos hyperbolic t sine hyperbolic x. This is in the first case, and this thing in the second case. We just put the value of the kernel respectively. Then now we have this integral equation. What we can do? We can differentiate this to obtain the corresponding differential equation, and then we will solve the differential equation. So when we differentiate it with respect to x, the left hand side becomes y dash x, the derivative of 1 becomes 0, then the derivative of this integration. And what is that? We can calculate it using the Leibniz rule. I hope you recall it. It is given to be like this. That means firstly you will take the partial derivative of this whole term with respect to x, then add up the derivative of this upper limit, and this upper limit substituted in place of t, minus the derivative of the lower limit, and this lower limit substituted in place of t, right? This is what we do usually. So let's do it here also. So in the first term we have lambda as it is, integration 0 to x as it is, the partial derivative of this whole term with respect to x. So only this is the term involving x. So its derivative is, moreover these are hyperbolic terms, so you should note the results that the derivative of sine hyperbolic x, this is equal to cos hyperbolic x, right? And with respect to x, and similarly the derivative of x, the derivative of cos hyperbolic x with respect to x, that is equal to sine hyperbolic x. So these are the results. Similarly the integration is same. So the integration of sine hyperbolic x is simply cos hyperbolic x, and the sorry, I'm saying it the opposite way. The integration of sine hyperbolic x is also cos hyperbolic x, and the integration of cos hyperbolic x, it is also sine hyperbolic x. That means there is no change in the signs. We just have to interplace sine with cos, cos with sine whenever we have this hyperbolic term, right? And you all must be knowing what is the definition for these terms. Sine hyperbolic x, this simply is equal to e to the power x minus e to the power minus x divided by 2. And what is cos hyperbolic x? It is equal to e to the power x plus e to the power minus x divided by 2. These are the definitions of sine hyperbolic and cos hyperbolic functions. So we were differentiating this term. So it is lambda integration from 0 to x, the derivative of this whole term with respect to x. So we have cos hyperbolic x, because derivating sine hyperbolic x gives cos hyperbolic x. These being constants come as it is. Then the derivative plus lambda times the derivative of this upper limit with respect to x. What is that? That is 1. And we'll substitute x in place of t over here. So it becomes lambda into 1 into cos hyperbolic x into sine hyperbolic x into y of x minus the derivative of lower limit with respect to x, and what is it? 0. So this term is simply 0. The same thing we do with the second term. We obtain this. So you see this term cancels with this term. So we are only left with these two terms. So y dash x is this, right? Mark this as equation star and this as equation number 1, right? The value of y of x. So now again we have the integral over here. So we have to differentiate it once more. So let's differentiate it with respect to x. So we'll have y double dash x, again applying the Leibniz rule over this term. We'll have lambda as it is because we are taking the derivative with respect to x. So cos hyperbolic t as such, cos hyperbolic x derivative, it's sine hyperbolic x, then yt as such, dt as such, then plus lambda times the derivative of upper limit, that is 1, and then cos hyperbolic the upper limit, cos hyperbolic x as it is, and instead of yt we have y of the upper limit, right? Yt, y of x, and minus the derivative of this lower term, that is 0. So this whole terms becomes 0. Plus similar is with this term, right? The lambda times integration from x to 1, the partial derivative of this whole term with respect to x. So it will be the derivative of sine hyperbolic x only, and what is that? Cos hyperbolic x. Rest all these terms being treated as constant, so they come as it is. Plus the derivative of this upper term with respect to x being constant, it is 0, so whole term becomes 0, and then minus the derivative of this x with respect to x, that is 1. So lambda as such, the derivative of this term as such, that is 1, and then replacing t with the lower limit. So sine hyperbolic x as such, and in place of sine hyperbolic t we write sine hyperbolic x, and in place of y of t we write y of x, right? Again we have, now you see what we do in this case. So we have y double dash x as it is, lambda of taking lambda common from this term and this term, we have something of like this, right? And what was this? Let us look at equation number 1 where we defined y of x, the original integral equation. So we have this term, this whole term, right? What is its value? Its value is yx minus 1. So let us just substitute it over there. So we have, just a second. So you see we have, in place of all this, we'll write y of x minus 1, right? And clubbing these two terms, this term and this term, we have lambda yx common. So we are left with cos hyperbolic x square minus sine hyperbolic x square, and that is equal to 1. This is the identity involving hyperbolic functions. So plugging these values, we have y double dash x is equal to lambda times this whole term including lambda is equal to yx minus 1. So yx minus 1 plus y lambda into yx into 1. This terms becomes 1. So we have this. So overall our differential equation becomes y double dash x minus 1 plus lambda into yx is equal to minus 1. This is a second order non-homogeneous equation because the right hand side is not equal to 0 and the given interval is from 0 to 1. So what we have to do in order to solve this equation, we have to determine two boundary conditions involving two coefficients, right? So what we do is, firstly we will see what is the value at 0. So we just go back and look at yx and y dash x. So from there, let us see what do we get. If we substitute 0 here in equation 1 in place of x, so you'll have 1 plus lambda 0 to 0. So this whole term becomes 0, right? And The second terms become lambda into 0 to 1 cos hyperbolic 0, that is 1 sin hyperbolic t yt dt. So as such, we do not have any relation. We could have a relation, but it would be lengthier to solve, right? So can we have something more like, what if I put this 0 in y dash of x? That means let me put it in star. So y dash of 0, it would be lambda 0 to 0, integration from 0 to 0, it will give 0, right? This term would be 0. And then lambda integration from 0 to 1 sine hyperbolic x. Now value of sine hyperbolic x is equal to 0. So this whole terms becomes 0. So we have y dash 0 is equal to 0, because you know the graph of the sine hyperbolic function, it is something like this. So we only have 0 at x is equal to 0. So this whole term becomes 0, and we have this simplified boundary condition. Moreover, for the second boundary condition, we need to check it at the point x is equal to 1. So when you substitute 1 over here, you have 1 plus lambda integration from 0 to 1 cos hyperbolic 1 as such sine in place of x we are putting 1, right? So y of 1 would be 1 plus lambda integration from 0 to 1 cos hyperbolic t as such sine hyperbolic 1 into yt dt, plus this term is 0 in that case. And if we see y dash 1, it would be lambda integration from 0 to 1 cos hyperbolic t cos hyperbolic 1 yt dt, right? And this term becomes 0. So let me write it down for you. So two conditions are there. One is y of 1. In the first case, we have y1 is equal to 1 plus lambda, something like this. And in the second case, we have y dash 1 is equal to this. So now we want to get rid of this integral. So this integral is same in these two. So we divide these two. So after dividing, we have something like this. So our second condition becomes this, involving both the first derivative and the function itself, right? So we have the mixed boundary condition in this case, right? And in this case, we have only the derivative term. So only the Newman term. So let us try to solve this equation for both the cases when lambda is equal to minus 1 and when lambda is equal to 3. When lambda is equal to minus 1, what does our equation become? It becomes y double dash x is equal to minus 1. So what we need to do, we can integrate it twice. So firstly, we'll get this, and secondly, we'll get this. So we need to determine these constants a and b. So we can use this boundary condition, y dash 0 is equal to 0. So when you put 0 here, you have a as 0 in y dash x, right? So a is 0. So our y becomes this, and now what we do? We calculate the second boundary condition. So it would be tan hyperbolic 1. What is y dash of 1? Y dash of 1 would simply be, this is y of x, right? So y dash of x would be minus x only. So y dash of 1 would be minus 1. And minus of y of 1. And what is y of 1? It is equal to this whole term. So we have minus 1 by 2 plus b. That is equal to minus 1. So solving this and getting the value for b, what do we get? B is equal to 3 by 2 minus tan hyperbolic 1. So substituting this value of b again into our y, we have y of x as x minus x square 2 plus 3 by 2 minus tan hyperbolic 1, right? This is the solution. So let us see at our options. So you see the same term is obtained in option number A and option number B. So these options C and D, they are discarded. So to determine which is the correct option or both of them, we need to check the value of the solution when lambda is equal to 3, right? So we'll check for these two in the next part of this video. So let us check the solution when lambda is equal to 3, right? So case 2 when lambda is equal to 3. So our differential equation now becomes y double dash x minus 4yx is equal to minus 1. So this is again non-homogeneous equation. So how do we solve such equations? We find the corresponding solution, putting the right hand side equal to 0. So we have y double dash x minus 4y of x is equal to 0, right? So whatever is the solution in this case, we call it ycx, the corresponding solution. And then we find the particular solution, and what the general solution would then be the combination of corresponding solution and particular solution. So let us first solve this complementary solution. So we have d square minus 4 is equal to 0. The auxiliary equation is replacing this d by m. We have m square minus 4 is equal to 0, m is equal to plus minus 2, and the corresponding solution is in this form where this a and b are constants, right? And particular solution is we write 1 by the operator, which is d square minus 4, applying it to the right hand side, which is minus 1, right? So minus 1 of this, and you can write e to the power 0x because it is simply 1, no problem in that. So now what we do is we replace this d by 0, so we have something like this. So our particular integral is 1 by 4. So the general solution is combination of this corresponding solution and particular solution. So we have the solution as this in this case, right? So now what we need to do, we need to calculate the value of these constants a and b. So firstly, what do I do? Let me first calculate the derivative of y. So it would be 2a e to the power 2x minus 2b e to the power minus 2x. The first boundary conditions y dash of 0 is equal to 0. It gives a is equal to b. So what my y become, replacing this b with a. So I have 2a common, e to the power 2x plus e to the power minus 2x plus 1 by 4 as such, right? And what is this? By using the definition that I told you above, it would be 2 times cos hyperbolic 2x, and taking its derivative, the derivative of cos hyperbolic 2x would be sin hyperbolic 2x multiplied by this 2, right? Using the chain rule. So this is the derivative and this is yx. So let me use the second boundary condition now. The second boundary condition was tan hyperbolic 1 into y dash 1 minus y of 1 is equal to minus 1. So tan hyperbolic 1 as such, y dash of 1. So replacing 1 here and here, we have 4a sin hyperbolic 2 minus y of 1. What is y? Our y is 2a cos hyperbolic 2 into 1. So it will be just 2, and minus 1 by 4, because we are talking about minus y of 1, right, is equal to minus 1. So we can simplify this, we can move this term over here, and we can take a common from here, in fact 2a from here. So a is this, and when we substitute this a back into this equation over here, so we have y of x is equal to 3 divided by 4 cos hyperbolic 2 minus tan hyperbolic 1 sin hyperbolic 2 into cos hyperbolic 2x plus 1 by 4. So ultimately this is the solution. So let us see our options. So out of these two we need to select one, right? And let's match up the terms. So here option B is the correct option. That is it for this video. I know this is a quite long video. So if anyone has any ideas about how to do the shortcut for this, you can share it with others in the comment box. Thank you for watching.